Good afternoon, guys. This summer, it's just flown by. I was out this morning taking the dog for a walk, and there was a cool breeze in the air. It almost felt like summer was over. Been a busy summer. Traveling, a lot of local projects, client work, squeezing in videos where possible. But with all of that, it feels like I haven't really had a chance to answer a lot of your questions, whether they're in comments on videos, whether they're DMs or emails. So today, I pulled a bunch of them out, and we're gonna have a chat. Let's roll that intro. The first one, fridge sizing. I see a lot of comments or I'll get emails about counter depth fridges being too niche, or they're too small for their space. Maybe they're too expensive, or this one. Instead of getting a new fridge, just simply recess it into the wall and get as big of a fridge as you want. Absolutely. If you can do it and it works for your space, by all means, go that route. I talk a lot about counter depth fridges, and that's not so much because I just love a smaller fridge, it's because I don't like a large fridge protruding out into the kitchen. Unfortunately, it's not always that simple, and there's a lot of circumstances where we can't just simply recess the fridge into the wall. So example number one, we have a load-bearing wall. A few weeks ago, I walked through a project where we explored both IKEA and custom cabinets. The fridge in this particular kitchen is on an interior wall, but it is load-bearing. In order to recess this fridge for full depth, we would have to adjust structure, apply for permits, increase the overall scope of the project, and I'm not sure that's worth it for just a few extra cubic feet of fridge space. Another example is a fridge located on an exterior wall. That exterior wall needs insulation, likely has electrical for the fridge as well, and thus we can't just push that fridge further back. So, although I may not talk about recessing the fridge very often as an option, it is definitely something we will explore. It's just not always practical. Decked in countertops. They're great. They're terrible. We absolutely love them. We wouldn't touch them. I see a whole host of comments on both sides of the fence to the point where these are almost like floating shelves in a kitchen. You either love them or you hate them. We have only used decked in one project so far, and it was largely aesthetic. It wasn't structural or integral to the design in that it needed to hold up like a countertop does. So I don't really have a fixed opinion on one side of the fence or the other. I do think they have their place. I just haven't used them enough to say whether I would put them in, say, my own kitchen. From the local fabricators I've talked to, a lot of them just simply won't deal with the stuff because it isn't worth it for the odd job here and there. However, there have been a lot of comments on this channel, some from fabricators, highly endorsing it, even using it in their own spaces. One piece of advice I would give is make sure whoever you are planning to use to install your decked-in countertops is confident and qualified to do the task. The last thing you want to do is hire a trade, much like any other trade for that matter, that isn't comfortable in what they're trying to achieve. If you're dead set on decked-in and the contractor or the fabricator you're using isn't, find somebody else. What flooring should I use in my kitchen? Or some variation of this. Now my go-to, if it's a complete renovation no matter what, is a continuous flooring throughout the entire living space. It doesn't matter if it's vinyl, if it's tile, if it's laminate, or if it's a hardwood. I think there's far too many people that have been told to avoid hardwoods in a kitchen because it's a so-called wet zone. However, I don't consider a kitchen to be anything like our bathroom, for example. We don't have pools of water that could be sitting on the ground or sitting on our floor for a lengthy period of time. Few drips here and there, sure. But that's not going to hurt hardwood floors. If you're to have, a large spill on your kitchen or your hardwood floors in your kitchen, you're going to wipe it up, much like you would with any flooring you have in there. So I don't really see that as a problem. I think it's far more important that we select a flooring that's going to work with our daily lifestyle. Pick a flooring that's going to hold up to what you need. If you've got a lot of kids or dogs or pets ripping around all the time, pick a durable flooring, something that's going to hold up to that abuse. Long story short, my first choice is always continuous flooring throughout the entire living space. If I can't achieve that for whatever reason, I want to make sure that I have a natural transition, a natural break in that flooring point, whether it's a doorway, a step down, a pass through, something that's going to break up that synonymous or that continuous flooring without it looking awkward. I also want to address a more specific question regarding linoleum floors. I'm going to read this comment though. Recently found your channel and I'm finding a lot of helpful information. Thank you. For kitchen flooring, I want to do a Harlequin pattern. For those that don't know what it is, it looks like this, kind of a diamond-y repeating pattern. And I'm considering linoleum tiles. I don't see anyone talking about this. It's natural, soft underfoot, easy to clean, long wearing, and not terribly expensive. Any thoughts? The simple answer, vinyl became cool and lino became synonymous with being dated. However, that really shouldn't be the case. Linoleum is made with natural materials that give it an extreme durability while retaining some natural softness and natural bounciness to the product, making it really comfortable underfoot. If you opt for sealed lino tiles, there's no extra maintenance required. It's treating it like any other floor, mopping and vacuuming when needed. Or like our house, which is vacuuming very often because our dog sheds a ton. Lino is generally considered a green alternative because it is renewable and biodegradable. The main ingredients are linseed oil, pine resin, cork dust or sawdust, and some sort of mineral fillers. With all that being said, it does come with a few downsides, but then again, so does any floor. The biggest ones being susceptibility to scratches and moisture. Because it's a soft, natural product, it does have a tendency to get a little bit more dings and nicks than say something like a commercial vinyl. Unsealed varieties are going to require regular polishing and buffing, and even then they can yellow over time. Finally, the floor gives off a bit of an odor. I'm not sure if you've ever been around a fresh lino floor install, but linseed tends to off-gas for a few weeks after being installed. It's not harmless, it's not going to cause any issues, it's just something to be aware of. I'm not going to speak on cost in comparison to some other materials because I've seen it all over the map from traveling and working with clients internationally. It really depends on selection, location, and the specific supplier in different areas. The next question pertains specifically to a project I walked through a few weeks back. If you missed it, you can check it out one of those corners. I'll get it right eventually. But to give you a quick recap, we had a relatively small kitchen here and a bit of an awkward layout in that we couldn't move walls, we couldn't extend the space, we were stuck in the footprint we have. We wanted solid wood base cabinets around the exterior and a natural wood stain with white wall cabinets. I really liked this comment and I think it has some great questions in it. In addition, it also provides a really good basis for discussion. So the gist of it is, why not use the more expensive solid wood doors up top as they'll last longer, less abuse, etc. Additionally, they are more visible being at eye level compared to the base cabinets. First, yes, base cabinets are definitely subject to more abuse in our kitchens than pretty well anything else out there. They're where all the action happens. However, this is precisely why I think solid stained wood fronts are a great choice for base cabinets. And in my opinion, I don't think there's another option out there that holds up nearly as well to dings, scratches, nicks in the front, and the ability to hide those compared to any other product. So yes, while they will get beat up more, they should hide it and be a lot more durable in the long run, say compared to a thermofoil white wall cabinet. Second, visibility. Again, you're correct. Putting that solid wood expensive door at eye level is going to put it at the forefront of sort of the visual space of the kitchen. It is something you're definitely going to see when you first enter. However, that also comes with some unintended consequences. If we were to use darker wood cabinets on the walls at eye level, it's going to start making the space feel even smaller. Being that this is already a small space, we want to make that area around head height feel as open as possible, hence the white cabinets and a neutral, light toned backsplash. Additionally, we wanted the wood cabinets paired with the soapstone countertops. I love the combination of black and wood. I'm not sure there's a better combination in design, and we simply wouldn't get the same visual effect if they aren't next to one another. Ultimately, we design the space for the person using it, as everybody should. In this particular case, there isn't a bunch of kids running around, and it's been the client's long-term dream to have solid wood base fronts in a nice natural stained color paired with soapstone countertops. So that was the basis of the plan, and we rolled with it. I want to finish this video off with a series of rapid fire answers to questions from one of our longtime community members, a longtime subscriber who's been watching the channel for years. Here's the comment. Let's read through it. No, I'm kidding. We'd be here for a while. I'm going to read them off kind of one by one and rapid fire through it. The first, could I take even more of your time for more questions? You can always take more of my time. I start every single project off with a free discovery call. Just reach out. The email is down in the description of this video and up in one of these corners. I'll get it right eventually. Schedule one with me. What is the current general definition of semi-custom and custom cabinets? I'm not sure there is a general bracket or bucket you can stick those in, more of a sliding scale that we kind of compare them on. I consider semi-custom to use largely stock cabinet sizes. So that's just your standard box sizes, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, so on, both up and down, without a lot of customization inside of that. It's sort of an a la carte approach. You have some finishes, you have some internal organization you can select, pick kind of A, B, and C, and you put it together and kind of punch it out the back end of a program without very personalized customization to your space. Custom, on the other hand, is exactly that. It's going down to building those cabinets for specifically what you're after in your specific space. If you can only fit a 23 1/4 inch cabinet, that's what we're putting in. If you want that cabinet to have a very specific internal structure of drawers or internal organization, that's what we're putting in. That is what I consider largely the custom side. IKEA, Home Depot, all of these RTAs don't really fall in either of those. They're sort of the semi-custom all the way down to stock bucket on the scale. Cabinet builders, local cabinet builders fall in sort of the semi-custom sliding scale all the way up to full-blown custom scale. That makes sense? I hope so. That was a lot of words. Any adverts for pre-assembled cabinets with wood boxes and wood doors? Yes, they do exist. One I've used in the past is called the Cabinet Joint. They are particularly good if you want something like an RTA style inset front, so solid wood front, but an inset door. It's quite a beautiful, more customized, classic look that can be quite expensive if you go the totally custom route. Are there any seasoned, reliable, trustworthy, that's a lot of very specific adjectives. Are there any seasoned, reliable, trustworthy online street front merchants selling Chinese pre-assembled boxes in the US? I don't have enough experience, as in I've worked with the same manufacturer multiple times over multiple years, to really give an insight into this particular question. What I will say though is from the few we've worked with or our clients have worked with, it's been kind of 50-50, hit or miss. Some have been really good and have worked out great, and there was no complaints. On the other hand, we've had some projects where cabinet boxes used undersized and cheap plywood. They weren't square, the doors didn't close properly, maybe there was cheap hardware in one. And the money they wound up saving on the cabinet boxes wound up just going to the install because there was far more time and labor needed to get those boxes in place and make them function and look good than was probably needed. What I will say is no matter who you're going with, whether it's a Chinese builder, a local builder, any builder for that matter, do your due diligence. Spend some time doing some research, look for reviews if you can, and see what products, what solutions they offer before spending thousands of dollars on one particular place and arguably the most important place of your kitchen. Lumber shortages. I would not say Canada currently has any lumber shortages like they're saying, I think you mentioned in California. I will also say that lumber prices have seriously dropped from a couple of years ago when you know what was going on. The house building here in Canada has generally slowed, so lumber prices have gone with it. What I will say though is you mentioned California. California is its own little weird, not little, it's big, beast when it comes to renovation. There is no single place where we've had more problems when it comes to supply, materials, contractors, general laborers than California. The only place maybe more challenging I've had to work was Alaska, and that was just purely location and getting products to the state. Do I do question and answer videos? Like this one? I do them on occasion. I think I've done a couple in the past, but I don't do them very often. I need your feedback. If you enjoy videos like this, let me know down in the comments below. Leave your questions down in the comments below, and I'll make sure to make more of them. I'm here to help however I can. That's gonna end it for this one. Not exactly a rapid fire finish to it, but you know, questions were answered, so we'll check that box as success. Until the next time, thanks a ton for watching, and we'll see you then. Cheers.